Level 989.
Welcome to a 989 on Health Extra. These quick supplements should help ease any withdrawal symptoms you may experience while waiting for our next full episode. So, Mike, what's on today's agenda?
Before I can get to the nitty-gritty of today's topic, I need to review a bit of terminology. There are a lot of words in modern English that harken back to the old days. I guess most words have their origins thousands of years ago when you really think about it. And as time passes, the definition and usage of a word mutates until sometimes the original is lost. One word like this is occult. Originally, it was an astronomical term for something covered or eclipsed. It now has a connotation that smells a lot like black magic. Another example would be the word sinister, which goes back to at least the 15th century and means to the left, and may have started out as a technical term for designing heraldry. You know, like coats of arms on a knight's shield. So sinister is left, kind of like port is left if you're on a boat. Back in the day, left-handed people were seen as odd and not to be trusted. My mom is left-handed, and it's weird to think that back in the day, people have seen her as sinister. It didn't help that she's a redhead on top of that. It's a good thing she lives in the modern era, not in the Middle Ages, when a red-headed lefty would have been a strong contender for Wicked Witch status. Just for some balance here, so sinister is left, and it turns out that the term for right is dexter, which is a word you probably won't hear in the modern age unless you're a fan of the crime drama TV show named Dexter, or the books on which it's based. Or hey, there's also Dexter's Lab, a cartoon about a kid genius. Even though we don't burn left-handers at the stake anymore, left still has a negative connotation. If you and a friend are running to escape from an angry bear, would you rather know they're right behind you, or that they have been left behind you? Well, thanks for joining me on Mike's Archaic Word Corner. Until next time. No, I joke. I'm here today to talk about sugar. This is something of a companion piece to our most recent full episode, which was on sugar and its sneaky, sweet seduction. Delicious poison. So I'm talking about sugar? I know, it's hard to tell based on the episode so far. I just needed to set the stage, get you all into the same mental headspace I was in when I recently read an interesting article about a type of sugar called tagatose. Now, one of the articles I'm going to be referencing today is from NASA, and there will, of course, be a long list of links in the show notes for this episode if you'd like to research more on your own. Now, as part of the planning for the early probes to the planet Mars in the 1970s, the scientists involved with developing the scientific experiments, most importantly, the tests to search for alien life, were looking for a sugar that would respond predictably to any alien microbes that might be in the Martian soil, but not react to the normal chemicals that might be present in sterile Martian sand. They were trying to avoid false positives, and it turns out normal sugars can't achieve that goal. It's just too reactive. And so the scientists chose tagatose, a sugar present in very small quantities in nature, in fruits, cacao, and some dairy products, to be one of the main ingredients in their tests on Mars. Tagatose, also known as naturalose, is made of the same stuff, the same atoms, as typical sugars, but the atoms have been very subtly rearranged. One of the important elements of a sugar is oxygen, and the crystalline structure of sugars almost always structure themselves into a naturally right-handed configuration when it comes to oxygen. What is this, chemistry class? Well, kinda. A lot of medicine is chemistry. Baking, chemistry. Dating, chemistry. Learn your chemistry, kids. Everything is made of chemicals. Anyway, it turns out if you rearrange the structure of a normal sugar like lactose, which you can find in milk, and through a complicated process which, believe me, you do not want me to describe, flips the oxygen atom from the right-handed position into the left-handed position. Now, I'm not getting creative with my terms here. There really are left and right-handed chemicals. In technical chemistry terms, this is called a chiral molecule, and this might seem like a minor change, but it's an important one. Now, tagatose was too expensive to mass produce for many decades, but has been ramping up a lot more recently. Just another ingredient to watch out for when you're scrutinizing those product labels. So why is tagatose useful? Well, it has a very similar sweetness to normal sugar, with about the same amount of bulk, which means it can be easily substituted for normal sugar in recipes. Anyone who's tried to make a cake with Splenda or other artificial sweeteners knows that you have to make a number of other adjustments to a recipe if you're going to use artificial sweeteners, and it can be really tricky to get it all to come out correctly. Now, despite its sweetness, Tagatose has a very low glycemic index, which means, while it tastes sweet in the mouth, its impact on the body is far less than when compared to an equal amount of sugar. Medical science calls the impact of sugar on the body the glycemic index. While normal sugar, sucrose, has a glycemic index of 68, Tagatose has a glycemic index of 3. 3! That's 1, 2, 3. So if there was a Tagatose version of your favorite sweet breakfast cereal, you'd have to eat 22 bowls of the Tagatose version to equal the impact on your body that one bowl of the granulated sugar version currently has. However, I would not recommend eating 22 bowls of Tagatose cereal, in part because variety is an important part of your diet, and also because too much Tagatose can cause gastrointestinal distress, bloating, cramping, nausea. You folks might remember something called Olestra, a fat substitute in potato chips that hit the market back in the late 1990s that caused similar tummy issues. Also, Tagatose is a weird little molecule, which is part of why it doesn't have a higher glycemic index. The body just doesn't know how to extract energy from it. Because it's not burned, the Tagatose can just kind of linger in your body, and this can have negative impacts on your liver, which, it's pretty likely, would only get worse over time as you ate more of it. And there will undoubtedly be more side effects discovered as Tagatose is used in more products and eaten by more people. Just like diet pills, artificial sweeteners seem too good to be true, and they probably are. Artificial sweeteners are likely more a part of the problem than any solution, and the actual, factual, scientific description of Tagatose as a left-handed sugar is a sinister hint, if you ask me, maybe even an omen. Really makes me wonder if those folks in the Middle Ages were right to be wary of the left-handed.
That's all for now. You can find links to read more about today's topics at level989.com. Why not take a moment to rate or review us in iTunes, or give us a mention on social media? We can't help everyone if they don't know we exist. Don't rely on us as an alternative to medical advice from a professional healthcare provider. For the full disclaimer, please see our website. Thanks for listening, and now, go health yourself.